Hello everyone, and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain. And today, sit a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 as part of the Ottawa Senators. So far so good. We are entering March of 2000, second in the East. We are looking pretty good. We do have a few challenges ahead of us, and that might not come in the form of teams that we're going to be playing. So I have my little routine. Typically at the start of March is where I start to look into extending players that I want to keep. So it's either players that have been playing really well or players that, have still a good potential or still a good value and everything that I want to keep. So you can see the list there is pretty good, pretty long. I am attempting to extend Matt Cullen, Daniel Alfredson, Mike Dunham, Brian Berard, Bill Guerin, Andreas Daikel, Brad Larson, and Sammy Salo. A couple things here. A lot of those names make sense. I mean, I am not going to let Alfie walk for sure, Dunham has been pretty good for me. Makes sense that I extend him. Now, one name here is Bill Guerin. Now, at the end of the last episode, or near the end of the last episode, I mentioned that I wanted to trade him at the trade deadline, and that I couldn't because he's hurt. So, why am I extending him? The reason is because I have three players that refuse to negotiate extensions with me right now. At least those players have been with the team for a little while, so it's not as silly as the Marianosa situation. But still, that's where my challenges will come from, because those three players are, at least two of them are really pretty pivotal for the team. The third one is okay. So those three players are Robert Zvela, Vili Peltonen, and Thomas Holmstrom. So those guys don't want to extend with me. The trade deadline is on March 14th, so I've put them all on the block, see what I might be getting. On March 14th, if I do not get any offers by then, I will shop them and get the better offer that I can find at that point in time. I just want to make sure it is March 14th. Yes, trading deadline, March 14th that year. So those three guys are all part of my starting lineup. So if I have to let them go, it's going to hurt the team. Of course, depending on what I can get back. But I'm probably not going to get equal value. And the one that's going to hurt the most to lose probably is Robert Zvela. I've been pointing out quite a few times. Maybe you should have listened to my videos. I've pointed out a few times that, I was really glad that he turned out the way he did, because he's been playing really well for us. So that's where our challenge is. Oh, and speaking of which, there is a super tempting name on the trade block, and I didn't make an offer just yet because I wanted to do it on the screen, and I might try to trade two of those players for him. It might still not even be enough, but let's go ahead and take a look. So I think you're gonna see pretty quick why I want to go for that particular player. Alright, so we're going to go to transactions here, and then we're going to go to trading block. Alright, so we can sort by ability. I'm going to sort by potential because that guy is young. Alright, and there you go. So I do have Patrick Marleau, but look at that name here. Now, wouldn't that solidify my spot in net for 10, 12, 15 years if I were to trade for Ryan Miller? I think it would, and I really, really, really kind of want to get him, but I'm not sure that, if I offer like Zvela and Peltonen, I'm not sure it's going to be enough. But I'm going to attempt. Let's see what they say. Alright, so I want to offer Robert Zvela. And I want to offer Vili Peltonen. Now that's going to make holes in my lineup. Those are decent players. Alright, I am not going to retain salary. It's hardly likely they will accept this offer. I'm still going to offer it. What do I have as far as player rights? You know what? Let's add Chris Kelly. Alright, so that's a pretty big trade here. I am offering Robert Zvela, Vili Peltonen, and the rights to Chris Kelly for Ryan Miller. The reason that I'm okay with offering Chris Kelly, I already have some centers that are very similar. Matt Cullen, for example, and I have Mike Fisher, who is also kind of a well-rounded two-way forward. So let's go ahead and see what the Sabres are going to say to that. Alright, we won't hear about it for a couple days, so let's see if I can get Ryan Miller in my system and groom him to be my starting goaltender after this extension to Mike Dunham. So I'm not expecting Ryan Miller to be ready right away. So I might bring him up as the backup to Mike Dunham. And I do know that I have Tommy Salo, and in between I'm going to just let Tommy Salo go or trade him. He's still under contract till right now, but that's kind of my transition. I'd like to get Ryan Miller, keep him in the minors for a year or two, go with Dunham and Salo, then as Salo transitions out, bring Ryan Miller in, and then see where he's at, see if I am going to extend Dunham further, or if I'm going to go with another situation. That it's all going to depend on Ryan Miller at this point, and I might be speaking for absolutely nothing because maybe they're going to say no. I think it's a pretty good offer that I made, assuming they can re-sign those players. We'll see. Alright, so let's advance a little bit here. So I'm going to get a whole bunch of messages for all of those guys that signed with me. First great night for Sergei Zubov, who had a goal and 4 assists, 5 points against the Sabres. See, you guys need Robert Zvela bad. Alright, Rod Bryden is satisfied with my work. We went 8-4 last month. Alright, Matt Cullen signed, that's good. Daniel Alfredson signed, that's good. Signed. I guess that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up in the email, not email, but in the message that I've sent on the on the forums. Whenever you make offers to your players to extend them during the season, they never, ever refuse. As long as you give them what they want, they never negotiate to try to get more or anything like that. Alright, so the Tampa Bay Lightning is trying to trade me Shane Willis for Patrick Marleau. Right. Yeah, that... What? Alright, I don't know who's the GM in Tampa Bay right now, but they have to lay off the crack pipe a little. Alright. Alright, now we are playing the Islanders. We have a little bit of a rivalry thing. Now, I know the little logo for rivalry doesn't show up there, but we had that finish for the last playoff spot last year, and now, you know, they have one more point than us on the season, so they are kind of a team that we seem to be facing off against, or things like that, so kind of a undercover rivalry type of thing. So the Islanders are doing pretty good. Like I said, they have one more point than us this year. They are 36-21-6 for 78 points. So pretty good season for the Islanders. Also a pretty good season for us too. Alright, we are going with Mike Dunham in net that just extended, so shout out incoming maybe. And Roberto Luongo for the Islanders is going to be in net. So go Sens go, playing on the road. It hasn't always been easy on the road for us this year, although we did turn it around a little bit. And we won 2-1. Nice little defensive game there. Ooh, I don't know how defensive it was for them. We outshot them 48-16. Wow. Roberto Luongo was the first star. Yeah, it's probably warranted. 46 saves. First star Zygmunt Palffy for the Islanders was the second star with an assist. And Robert Zvela, who is now on the block and unwilling to negotiate with us, third star with an assist. So Todd Bertuzzi opened the scoring on the power play. And then Shara tied it up, assisted by Yashin, so it was tied at 1 after 1. And then in the third, Pavel Datsyuk scored the game winner, assisted by Svela. And that was it, 2-1. Alright, Brendan Shannon's point streak ended at 13 games. Okay, he was held scoreless against the Trashers. Alright. And one more word about my goaltenders. I also have Tim Thomas, and I am not giving up on him. It's just, as I mentioned in the forum post that I made, too often players follow their real career paths, so Tim Thomas is probably not going to be ready for prime time for another like 5 years or something like that. And then by that time, I'm hoping that Ryan Metter, if I get him, I'm hoping that Ryan Metter is going to be my clear-cut starter, and then I have Thomas that's there that can play, 30, 40 games or something like that, maybe 30 games, and, have quite possibly the best tandem in the league, maybe. So that's my plan. I kind of forgot to mention the Tim Thomas piece because I still have him. Greg DeVries has been put on waivers. I'm not going to pick him up. Could be a nice little Ottawa Senators wink that I would make, but I'm not going to pick him up. Alright, so we are playing against the Trashers now. 25, 33, and 5 is the Trashers record. That's good for third in the East because of their super weak division. So the expansion team is first of their division. We went 1-0-1 against Atlanta this year, so we won 1 and 1 tie. We have not played them at home yet, and we are hosting them right now. Let's see here what happens. They're going with Cujo, Curtis Joseph. We're going with Mike Dunham. Ooh, we won 8-3. What a game. We outshot them 50-15. So actually not that great of a game for Mike Dunham. He allowed 3 goals on 15 shots. That's really not all that great. Vili Peltonen, that I kind of have to get rid of, was the first star with 2 goals and 3 assists. Daniel Alfredson, second star, a goal and an assist. And Mike Retchie, third star with an assist. So Dackle scored in the first period from Sillinger and Datsyuk. And then a whole bunch of goals were scored in the second. So Nieuwendyk made it 2-0 from Thornton and Peltonen. And then the Trashers actually tied it up. It was 2-2 at that point. And then Alfredson scored from Osa and Peltonen. Then Yashin on the power play from Peltonen. And Arvidsson from Holmstrom and Zvela. It was 5-2 after 2. Peltonen scored from Nieuwendyk and Radji. Then Amerdick short-handed from Alfredson and Shara. So it was 7-2. Then Dan Boyle for the Trashers scored on the power play. 7-3. And then finally Vili Peltonen on the power play from Thornton and Yashin. And it was 8-3. And it was beautiful. We treated our fans to a great game. I forgot to check the attendance. Suppose I can click here and check. 11,958. Scouting report. Okay, and Buffalo says no way. It's close to being alright. Okay. I don't want to give him Mike Fisher. I like Mike Fisher. But I need to not play with my heart. I need to play with my head. I'm going to add Mike Fisher. I'm going to ride Mike Sillinger and Matt Cullen for a while. Alright, so we'll see. I changed Chris Kelly for Mike Fisher. That's an upgrade. That's the highest I am willing to go. Oof, that's gonna hurt them. Not that they have any chance at, making the playoffs or anything, but as if things couldn't get worse for the Washington Capitals, Sergei Gonchar will miss 10 months against Buffalo. He has a fractured skull. Oh boy. That's so scary. Alright, now we are playing in Boston. We are 38-2025. Boston is 33-24-8. We are 2-1-1 against the Bruins. Let's get going. Road game. We're still playing with Mike Dunham in net. They are going with Yevgeny Nabokov. And we lost 43, so cannot win them all, I suppose. We outshot them 39-23, so again, Mike Dunham didn't have the greatest of games in net. Yanni Niedema for Boston was the first star. He had a goal and an assist. Joe Nieuwendyk for us was the second star with 2 assists. Cam Neely, third star with a goal and an assist. So we actually took a 2-0 lead in the game in the first. Joe Thornton scored on the power play, his 10th of the season, from Nieuwendyk and Peltonen. And then Norm McIver on the power play as well from Thornton and Yashin. It was 2-0 at that point. Then Niedema scored in the second. It was 2-1 for us. And then Boston tied it up. And then took a 3-2 lead in the third. And then Norm McIver scored again from Nieuwendyk and Peltonen to tie it at 3. But then with 2:45 to go in the third period, Cam Neely scored the game winner. All right, Daniel I always had a problem saying that name. Charnquist is available. I am not going to pick him up. Manon Réaume is still there. Alright. Suspension for Jason Arnott, who was suspended for 5 games in Edmonton. Alright, next game is at home against Pittsburgh. Scott Lachance is available. Huh. He plays for Toronto now. Alexei Kovalev extends his point streak to 12 games. He had an assist against the Mighty Ducks. Good game for Mario Lemieux right before playing us. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Montreal. Sergei Berezin in Montreal is back from suspension. It's about to be the end of the trade deadline. I am trying to deal, but Buffalo says no way again. Alright, yeah, I'm not going to... I would have loved to have Ryan Miller. I just can't make that trade. I just can't make it happen. Unless... Alright, let's try one more thing. Alright. I'm gonna offer Patrick Marleau for Ryan Miller. Straight up. Do I want to ask more? Maybe I want to ask more. Let's see. Yeah, there's not a lot of not a lot of choices there. You know what? I'll do Marleau for Miller straight up. They said yes right away. Alright. Okay, so that was maybe a little bit of a big price to pay, but I am getting a true starting goaltender in the making. So Ryan Miller for Patrick Marleau. Interesting. Now, what I don't like about that trade is that I'm sending Patrick Marleau over to a division rival. I don't like to do that. He's gonna come and haunt us, but I'm hoping that Ryan Miller is gonna stop him more often than not. All right, so I need to call back somebody. All right, maybe it's time to call up Ivan Ciernik, maybe. Viborny, Brad Larson. Yeah, let's call back Brad Larson. I need checkers. Alright. Now we are playing in Pittsburgh. No, sorry. We Canadians tend to apologize a lot, by the way, so whenever I say I'm sorry, it's my culture that's speaking much more than I. Alright, so... Alright, we're good. Let's go ahead and play Pittsburgh. Oops, I forgot to look at their record. I can look at it here. So Pittsburgh is doing pretty good. They are 34, 24, and 8 for 76 points. Let's see. We beat them once, twice. So we're 2-1 against them this year. They are sending the veteran Tom Barrasso in net. We're going with Mike Dunham, who's been winning lately, except the last game, but not playing particularly well. And we won 1-0, so 7th shutout of the season for Mike Dunham. He's feeling the pressure because I made the trade for Ryan Miller, so now he's like, oh my god, I'm going to lose my job, I need to play really well. Alright, so we outshot them 38-17. Norm McIver was the first star of the game, he had an assist. Tom Barrasso was the second star with 37 saves, and Adrian Aucoin for Pittsburgh was the third star, not getting any points. We had only 10,336 people in attendance, and the lone goal was scored in the first period. It was Joe Nieuwendyk, assisted by Norm McIver. And that was it. Halfredson sits out with day-to-day injury. Okay, he's going to miss 6 days. Alright, that's okay, I suppose. Lemieux is also day-to-day. So, I guess it played rough in that game. Next game is going to be at home again against the Leafs. Martin Ruzinski and Lance Pitlick are both available. I'm not going to pick them. Alright. Strong game for Wayne Gretzky. He had 4 assists against the Rangers. 39 years old, still 3.5 stars. Alexei Kovalev extends his point streak to 13. He had 2 assists against the Kings in that same game. Alright, so there's that. Marty Brodeur signs an extension in New Jersey for 6 years for a total of $19,200,000. So that's like, what, 3-point-something million a year? Yep, that's pretty good. Alright, there's been a trade between Buffalo and St. Louis. Buffalo sends Wayne Primo and Jeff Paul to St. Louis for John Paul and Gordy Dwyer. Yeah, I think that St. Louis got the better. I mean, Wayne Primo wasn't a great player or anything like that, but he's the better player in there for sure. Alright, Brad Larson, you cannot have number 9. We talked about that. I have number 99 here. Gretzky is nothing to me. Look at me being cocky and everything. All right. Oh, Brett Lindros, Michael Sikora, and Scott Lachance are all available on waivers. Oh, Scott Lachance was picked up by Buffalo from Toronto, and now they're trying to pass him through waivers again. I don't know if he's going to be picked again. I'm not going to pick up any of those guys. Big game for Peter Sikora in New Jersey. He had a hat trick against the Trashers. And that's a pretty lengthy scouting report. Now I am going to be playing against Toronto at home. The Leafs are, without being a powerhouse, they have turned things around a little bit in Toronto compared to the last few years. They are 31-28-9 for 71 points. Sadly, that puts them in 10th place in the East, so they are fighting to climb up to come into the playoff dance. We are 2-1 against the Leafs this year. Right, so rocking Mike Dunham in net. Why not? He had a not a hat trick. He had a shutout. We're facing Jean-Sébastien Giguère. And we won 41, another win. So, oh boy, we outshot them 55-23. So I don't think offense is much of an issue, or generating offense, I should say, is an issue for us. We get plenty of shots on goal. Magnus Arvidsson was the first star. He had a goal and an assist. Matt Cullen, second star, a goal and an assist as well. And finally, third star with a goal and an assist as well is Alexei Yashin. 11,973 people in attendance, so still struggling to get to that 12,000, which, you know, is not even close to full capacity. And we're having a pretty good year. Anyway, Magnus Arvidsson scored in the first period, assisted by Matt Cullen, and then Yashin unassisted on the power play, so it was 2-0 for us after one. And then Matt Cullen scored in the second from Arvidsson and Brian McCabe, and Zvela from Yashin and Zdeno Chara. It was 4-0 after two. And then Frederick Modine finally scored in the third period with, 21 seconds to go into the game. He took the shutout away from Mike Dunham. So Mike Dunham almost had back-to-back shutouts. 21 seconds away from having that happen. Jamie Rivers is available. I'm not going to pick him up. Good game for Carl Dykhouse. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. He plays for Florida. He got that against Chicago. Alexei Kovalev extends his point streak to 14 games, 2 assists against Pittsburgh. Great night for Paul Kariya, who had 4 goals against St. Louis. Pretty good game for Paul Kariya. Alright, our next game is going to be in Calgary, so we're about to have that Canadian Western trip. And it's also about to be the 14th. Zygmunt Palffy has produced 600 points in his career. He had an assist against Buffalo. And there was a trade between the Blackhawks and the Red Wings. Guillabert is going to Detroit, so former Ottawa center Guillabert goes to Detroit for Martin Lapointe. Martin Lapointe goes to Chicago. Interesting. Again, that's an interesting trade. It's not superstars or anything. Still an interesting trade. Alright, so this is the last day to make a trade. I have 3 different trade offers, so let's take a look here. Let's see if something good's on the horizon. Miroslav Shatan in Edmonton is back from suspension, so that's good for them. Kovalev's point streak ended at 14 games. It was held scoreless against Dallas. Alright, the Islanders are offering me Derek Morris for V. Peltonen. I might say yes to that. Derek Morris wasn't the best defenseman or anything, but I mean, I'm going to lose Peltonen for nothing anyway, and Derek Morris is decent enough. The Nashville Predators are offering me Andrew Hutchinson for Rob Niedermeyer. Again, I might say yes to that. And the Kings are offering me Sean Pronger for Robert Zvela. I can do better than Sean Pronger for Robert Zvela, I'm pretty sure. So, Peltonen is traded to the Islanders. I am going to say yes to this. Derek Morris is 21. So that's done. I'm going to say yes to that as well. Having defensive depth is not a bad thing. I'm going to reject the Kings offer. I think it's not a very fair offer for me. Alright, so I got Derek Morris and Andrew Hutchinson. Now I have to recall a few players. So we are going to recall Viborny to replace Rob Niedermeyer. And then I don't have a lot of options. I traded all of my forwards. And I'm going to recall Ivan Ciernik, I guess. Alright, so that's that. Now I want to trade Robert Zvela. Yeah, we're on the 14th, so I need to trade Zvela. Yes, I want to shop Robert Zvela. Alright. So let's see. Montreal for Zvela is offering me Yuri Dopita. I say no. The Leafs are offering me Alex X. I say no. Bruins, Nelson Emerson, maybe. I mean, I'm trading a 31-year-old defenseman. I'm probably not going to get a, 21-year-old stud in the making. So Nelson Emerson can come and, maybe fit a little bit for like Vidi Peltonen's spot or something like that. So maybe. Chicago's offering me Brian Noonan. Nah, I'm not going to go with Brian Noonan. Detroit, Ian Moran. No. I also am maybe looking for a forward, unless there's a D that's offered to me that I really cannot pass on. Tony Granato is starting to be old. Yeah. I'm going to say no to Tony. The Stars are offering me Mike Crawley. I am going to say no. Philadelphia, Jeff Shantz. Sometimes I can't go just by name recognition. They might have evolved a little bit better. Ulf Samuelsson, yeah, he's probably playing in a wheelchair by now. No. St. Louis offering me Harry York. Yeah, I don't think so. 9 points. Yeah, no. Nelson Emerson is still the guy I'm looking at. Buffalo is offering me Ronnie Sundin. You could have offered me Patrick Marleau back. I would have been okay with that. Vancouver, Jeff Courtnall. God. He's probably sharing Jeff Courtnall is probably sharing a wheelchair with Ulf Samuelsson at this point. He's 37. He's still a star and a half. 29 points. Maybe Stephen Alco, the guy with the record for the longest stretch to start a career without scoring a goal. I don't think so. The Islanders are offering me Bill Berg. I'm going to say no to Bill Berg. Devils. Oh, Pear Juice. Look at that. Yeah, I'm not going to get him back. I let him go for a reason. Kelly Yules. No. Edmonton's offering me Sean Podine. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to get Podine back on my team. I'm okay. Trade proposal from the Carolina Hurricanes. Vladimir Wojtek, not bringing him back. Wow. Teams are trying to send me back the players that used to play for me. Hessa Tikkanen. Yeah, if you were a couple years younger, maybe. Phoenix is offering me Benoit Hugg. Again, if you were a couple years younger, maybe. Gary Volk in San Jose, maybe. Actually, might be one of the better offers I have. Tampa Bay is offering me Eric Daze. Oh God, maybe. Anaheim, German Titov. Wow, maybe. All of the later teams there are offering me better players than the first ones that I've looked at. Carl Dykhouse, he just had a hat trick, but I'm gonna have to say no to Carl Dykhouse. Randy McKay, yeah, that didn't work out the first time for us. Not gonna do that again. And Kelly Johansson. Ha! I could get Kelly Johansson back. I loved having Kelly Johansson on my team, but I'm gonna have to say no. I need a forward. Wow. So, like, out of all the teams that were like what, about 8 players that used to play for me that were offered to me. All right, so I have the choice between Nelson Emerson, Jeff Courtnall, Gary Volk, Eric Daze, and German Titov. At this point, I'm not going to go with Jeff Courtnall, so I'm going to say no to him. Gary Volk is kind of interesting because he's a two-way player. Nelson Emerson is a little bit more of an offensive player. He's not having a good season, so yeah, it's not going to be Nelson Emerson. Sorry, buddy. Alright, so Gary Volk. Eric Daze is 24. He has a scoring touch. He scored 28 goals with Tampa Bay. You could fit nicely on my team. German Titov is older. He's well-rounded, can get some points. Oh boy, who do I get? What's your contract situation? Expires next year, so I have you for 1 year and then the next. If I trade for you, what about you? Yeah, you're expiring this year. And you have 2 more years to your contract. I'm really torn. I hate that. German Titov, Eric Daze, or Gary Volk. I think I'm gonna go with German Titov. I like Eric Daze. He's young and everything, but I know that because of the engine, I know he's probably not going to get any better, and his season might be a fluke because he plays in Tampa Bay and they're not very good. And if I have to choose between Gary Volk and German Titov, I like German Titov a little bit more, so that's the guy I'm gonna go with. So I'm going to reject the trade here for Gary Volk, and then I'm going to reject the trade here for Eric Daze. And I am sending Robert Zola in Anaheim for German Titov. There you go. Alright, so we got ourselves a veteran in German Titov, so he should be able to play some minutes for us. Now I do need to get a defenseman up, so I'm going to send Ciernik back down. And so I know that's gonna make I know this is making the video go a lot longer, but it's part of the process. This trade deadline, I'm trying to get better. We have a legit chance in the playoffs to do something this year. Do I want to call up Chris Phillips? Or Derek Morris? Or Sheldon Surrey? Or, yeah, maybe Sheldon Surrey. Alright, Surrey, you come back up. Yeah, Chris Phillips has to wait a lot longer in the minors than he did in real life. Alright, and then... Oh, that's right, I have Thomas Holmstrom too that I don't want to lose for nothing. I think it's going to be faster with Thomas Holmstrom. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of great offers. Montreal's offering me Patrick Schellberg. I'm going to say no to that. Toronto's offering me Tim Taylor. Maybe. Boston's offering me Mikko Eloranta. No thanks. Chicago, Keith Jones. Maybe. No. I like the idea of Keith Jones more than the player himself. Mike Stapleton, he's getting too old. Not for me. Rangers, Martin Sonnenberg. No thank you. Dallas, Dave Manson. Oh. I know he's probably not all that good anymore, but maybe. That's the kind of trade that makes sense to get, like, right before the playoffs, to get a guy like Dave Manson. Ulf Samuel, no, I said no already. I don't want his wheelchair. I don't want for him to back up on somebody with his wheelchair on somebody's foot and make them angry. Sean Bates, maybe. Buffalo, Andrei Kopintov, no thanks. The Canucks, Robert Cron. Maybe. The Flames, Len Barry. I'm going to say no to that. Islanders, Denis Gauthier. I'm going to say no. Washington Capitals, Kelly Holtz. I said no already to him. He's an okay defenseman, but not what I'm looking for. Valery Karpov. No. Phoenix is offering me Benoit Hugg again. I'm going to say no again. Jesper Duss in San Jose. Nope. Serge Aubin. Aubin played for the Sens, but I'm not going to make that trade. Craig Johnson. Yeah, I don't think I'm making the trade with you this time, and I am sorry. Tony Herkus. Oh no, I'm okay. Randy McKay. Yep. Nope. Kelly Johansson. Oh, you're tempting me. I could get Kelly Johansson back. Playing with my feelings. I hate you, computer. Alright, Tim Taylor. I don't think so. I have better offers than Tim Taylor at this point. Dave Manson. Yeah. If I have to pick a defenseman, I'll pick Kelly Johansson over you. Now, Sean Bates is interesting. He's 24. And maybe. Robert Cron is also interesting, but he's older. Yeah, I'm going to say no to Kelly Johansson. Sorry, Kelly. Big fan of yours. Sean Bates or Robert Cron. So do I go with the veteran for the playoffs, or do I go with Sean Bates? Sean Bates is not going to get much better than what he is right now. And the guy has 5 points this year. Or I can get Robert Cron, who has 37 points. And he can play some defense. Let's go for the playoff run. We're going to get another veteran. I'm going to get Robert Cron for Thomas Holmstrom. I would prefer to keep Thomas Holmstrom, but he doesn't want to negotiate with me. Alright, and it has the added advantage that I don't have to move my lineup too much. Alright, so that's going to be our lineup to go for the rest of the season. I'm going to keep Norm McIver, but I'm not re-signing him. That's his last year with us, 35. He's gone down to a star and a half now. Oh wow, that video is really going to be long. Alright. Murray Baron, Kai Nurminen, and Alexei Gusarov are available. I'm not going to pick them up. And we are playing in Calgary tomorrow. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 12 games. He had 2 assists against Anaheim. Alright. Now, assign numbers. Alright, so Robert Cron wants number 18, and it's available. You can have it. Now, German Sitov wants number 13, but it's taken. How about you get number 23 instead? Oh, he's incensed, huh? Well, sorry, buddy. Alright, we are playing in Calgary. Oh, looks like we played them. Is that right? We played them twice? Huh, okay. So we played Calgary twice this year. We're 2-0 against them. Calgary is not doing too good. They are 24, 38, and 8 this year, so that's probably not good enough for a playoff spot. We're going in Calgary with our new players and everything. So it looks like Robert Cron and German Sitov are both going to be playing on the 4th line with Matt Cullen for this first game. We are going with Mike Dunham in net. They are going with Jim Carey. And we won 3-1. Alright, we didn't disrupt the chemistry too much. We were outshot 34-30. Brian Berard was the first star with 2 assists. Kirilenko, I think it's... What is it? Dmitry? Yeah, Dmitry Kirilenko was the second star with a goal. And Norm McIver, 3rd star with an assist. So Calgary opened the scoring in the 2nd period. Then Amerdick scored from Cullen and Brian Berard. And then Sheldon Surrey on the power play from Yashin and Uendijk. And we were up 2-1 after 2. And in the 3rd, Marian Osa scored short-handed into an empty net, assisted by McIver and Brian Berard. And it was 3-1, the final score. Daniel Alfredson back soon. Yes, please. I will take a healthy Daniel Alfredson, if you don't mind. Alright, now, let's see, we have Ed Olchuk and Sammy Elenius. It looks like Sammy Elenius has been put on waivers 37 times this season. I am not picking them up. Alright, so we have Joe Sakic that extends his point streak to 13 games. He had an assist against Nashville, so Joe is on a tier. There was no stopping Steve Yzerman, the other great number 19. 3 goals and an assist against Toronto. And Alfie's almost ready. Now we are playing in Edmonton. So we played once against Edmonton. It was in Edmonton. It was a 3-3 tie at that time. So I guess that back then we were making 2 trips to the Western Conference, I suppose. Right. Edmonton is doing pretty good. They are 35, 26, and 10. So we are going with Mike Dunham. Feels like we have played him every single game this month. I think we have, actually. And Roman Turek is going to be in net for Edmonton. And we lost 3-0. We got shut out. We outshot them 33-24. Roman Turek was the first star with 33 saves. Boyd Devereaux was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Ryan Smith was the 3rd star with a goal and an assist. Alright. And Jason Arnott is now back from suspension after this game against us. Now we are playing in Vancouver. Vancouver is struggling 27, 33, and 11, and we are 1-1 against Vancouver this year. Anaheim's Tyler Wright was suspended. He's going to miss 4 games. Brian Rolston in New Jersey got injured. That's not good for them. 3 months. torn hip labrum for Brian Rolston. He's 27. Gonna be gone for 3 months. Greg Johnson in Carolina is suspended. He's gonna miss 7 games. Alright, and Alfredson is ready to come back. Thank you, we need you, buddy. And we are now playing in Vancouver, like I said. 1-1 against them this year. We're going with Tommy Salo for that one. Vancouver is going with Garth Snow. And it's a 3-3 tie, so struggling a little bit after the trade. Well, we're 1-1-1, I guess. After I made a bunch of trades, but it's gonna show in the lineup when you take out Robert Zvela, Vili Peltonen, and Thomas Holmstrom. That's gonna show eventually. We outshot them 35-26. We had Pavel Bure was the first star of the game. He scored all the goals for Vancouver, hat-trick. Joe Thornton, second star for us, 2 assists, and then Daniel Sedin, third star with 2 assists. Marian Osa scored the first goal of the game in the first, assisted by Sheldon Sorey and Joe Thornton. We were up 1-0. Then Pavel Bure scored his first of 3 goals to tie it up. Then Yashin scored on the power play from Joe Thornton. Then Bure scored again to tie it up. Then Nieuwendyk scored from Ratji and Datsuk. It was 3-2 for us going into the third period. And 3:12 into the third, Pavel Bure completed his hat-trick, and the score would hold at 3-3. Red light stays on for Pavel Bure. I know, I was there. Ooh, another good player is hurt. Bad news for Colorado. Peter Forsberg is hurt. He's going to miss 3 weeks. Okay, that's not too terrible, I suppose. Pinched nerve in his neck. I mean, it sucks for them, but at least he should be back in time for the playoffs. Joe Sakic's point streak ended at 13 games. It was held scoreless against Detroit. Alright, in 2 days we are back home to play the Thrashers again. Oh, Sean Podine in Edmonton got suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. Brendan Shannon has recorded 500 assists. He had an assist against Washington. So good career. He's 31. He's going to put up a few more assists in his career, I'm sure. Alright, playing the Thrashers. We have 6 games left in the month, so we are 2-0-1 against the Thrashers. Since we've played them, they are now 29, 36, and 5. They are still third in the East because of the seeding. We have dropped to 5th. Montreal passed us now, but they did play 2 more games than us. Alright, they're going with Cujo. We're going with Mike Dunham. The last time we played them at home, it was a massacre, 8-3. Let's repeat that. It's a 3-3 tie. I guess I'll take the point, but we're struggling to win games. We outshot them 49-20. Joe Thornton was the first star, so Joe Thornton has been picking up the slack lately, which I like. So he was the first star with 2 assists. Sorry, I just coughed a bit. Patrick Stefan was the second star for Atlanta with 2 goals, and Pavel Datsuk was the third star with an assist. We had 11,744 people in attendance. Patrick Stefan opened the scoring for Atlanta 25 seconds into the game, and then Marian Osa tied it up on the power play from Thornton and Yashin. It was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second, we took the lead. Brian McCabe from Pavel Datsuk and Joe Thornton. We were up 2-1. Then Peter Nedved tied it up, and then Osa scored from Yashin, and it was 3-2 for us. But then Patrick Stefan tied the game, and that would stay that way. Oh, in Philadelphia, time running out for Robbie Ftorek to engineer a turnaround, so he might lose his coaching job. Well, Philly's not doing that bad, but they did finish first in the East last season, though. Mario Lemieux has reached 1,000 games played, was held scoreless against the New York Islanders, though. Jamie Langenbrunner has a good game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Vancouver. Now Langenbrunner in my universe plays for San Jose. Suspension for Yannick Tremblay in Toronto. He is going to miss 8 games. And we are playing Toronto right now. We are hosting them at home again. Ooh, Toronto has slid a little bit. Last time we played them, I mentioned that they had a winning record for the first time in a while, but now they are 31, 32, and 10. And we are 3-1 against the Leafs this year. They're going with Mike Rossetti. We're going with Mike Dunham. And we won 41, which is exactly the score that it was 2 weeks ago when we played them. We outshot them 39-27. Marian Osa was the first star of the game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals. That's pretty good. Alexei Yashin was the second star with 2 assists, and then Sheldon Sorry, third star with an assist as well. We had 12,238 people in attendance. Alright, so we took, well, all the goals were scored in the first period, so that's pretty easy. So Mariano Osa scored on the power play from Sori and Yashin, and then Osa from Alfredson and Yashin, then Zdeno Chara from Datsuk and Brian McCabe, and finally Marian Osa on the power play from Joe Thornton. It was 4-0, then Brian Smolinski scored for Toronto to make it 4-1, and the score would hold after that. Yes, I know that Marian Osa had a hat-trick. It was beautiful. I was there. One of my favorite players. I cheered all night. I was in tears. Alright. Oh, Mike Knuble and Marty Murray are available. So Mike Knuble is only a 1-star player. I'm gonna pick up Mike Knuble. I'm a little short on forwards, and it's really just so that I have somebody in the minors that I can call back up. I am not expecting for him to be great or anything. Suspension over for Tyler Wright in Anaheim. Back to the lineup. And we are now playing at home against the Washington Capitals. It's been a free fall for the Capitals. They are 22, 47, and 5. So the Capitals, year after year, are struggling like crazy. We are 1-0-1 against Washington, so 1 win and 1 tie against them. Alright, Dwayne Roloson is going to be in net for Washington. We're going with Mike Dunham. And it's another shutout from Mike Dunham. We won 4-0. We outshot them 40-23. Robert Cron, finally somebody that I picked up in a trade, did something. So Robert Cron is the first star. He had 2 assists. Matt Cullen, second star, a goal. And Zdeno Chara, third star with a goal. We had 10,776 people in attendance. Andreas Dackel scored in the first, assisted by Roman Americh. Then Chara, assisted by Cron and Sheldon Sorry. So we were up 2-0 after 1. And then in the third, we scored twice. Brian McCabe from Thornton and Nieuwendyk. And then Matt Cullen from German Titov and Robert Cron. All right. Oh, I have an injury that I saw there. Who is it? Oh, Zdeno Chara's hurt. He's day-to-day, so who's my spare defenseman? He can play for a little bit. Brian Barrault, yeah, he can come and play. He's not as big, obviously, but he can come and play. So we have 3 more games in March. The next one is in 2 days at home against Philadelphia. Teemu Selanne has scored 400 goals in his career. He had a goal against Anaheim. I had to double check because Teemu Selanne played in Anaheim in real life, so I got confused for about 0.78 seconds. Mikael Nylander keeps fans on their feet all night. He had a hat trick, 3 goals against Buffalo. Everybody beats Buffalo. Brendan Morrison has a great game for the Rangers. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Red Wings. Wow. Good game for Brendan Morrison. Right, now we are playing the Flyers. The Flyers have their coach a little bit on the hot seat. Flyers are 35, 33, and 7. That puts them 9th in the East, so they're 8 points behind Pittsburgh, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to climb up to that 8th spot. We are 2-1 against them this season, so let's get going. We have 93 points, so we have the potential to get to a 100-point season. So Philadelphia is going with the veteran Grant Fuhr, played almost all of their games. He has played in 67 games. We are going with Mike Dunham. And we won 3-2. We outshot them 38-29. We have Alexei Yashin, that was the first star of the game with a goal and 2 assists. Jeff Shantz for Philadelphia was the second star with an assist. And Brian Berard for us was the third star with 2 assists. We had 10,547 people in attendance. Joe Nieuwendyk scored his 31st on the power play from Yashin and Sheldon Souray. And then Simon Gagné for Philly tied it up. It was 1-1 after 1. And we scored twice in the second period. So we have Yashin from Berard and Nieuwendyk. And then Alfredson from Berard and Yashin. It was 3-1 at that point. Eric Weinrich would score near the start of the third period to make it 3-2. But we would be able to hold on to our lead. No further discipline for Ottawa's McIver. So apparently Norm McIver did something that was not too clean in that game. That's pretty unlike him. Strangely enough, he's the one who's hurt, though. Okay. Alright, so Shara's gonna need to play hurt because yeah, he's day-to-day. So that's gonna be that. New York's Bertuzzi suspended. Todd Bertuzzi is suspended with the Islanders for 2 games. And Shara's feeling better. Good enough to play. That's good enough for me. And now we have that alleged rivalry with the Tampa Bay Lightning that I cannot explain. Mike Modano has reached 500 assists. He had 2 assists against Florida. He's 29, 500 assists in his career already. That's pretty good. And that was 8 straight games for him with an assist. Brendan Shannon extends his point streak to 12 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Leafs. And now we are playing Tampa Bay, as I said, our phantom rivalry. Tampa Bay is 27, 42, and 6. We are 2-0 against Tampa Bay this year. Now I don't know. Maybe they are our rivals because they were our cousins from expansion. But then you would think they would have been a rival since the very start. I'm not sure where that rivalry is coming from. Is it because I think Joe Dial plays for them? Is that why? Yeah, that's because they have Joe Dial, isn't it? And Benoit Brunet. There you go. That's the ex-Senators. That must be why. We are going with Mike Dunham. They are going with Brian Boucher in net. And we tied 4-4. Alright, so they actually outshot us 43-26 on that one, so they played us pretty hard. Rob Zamuner was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Brian Berard was the second star. He had an assist. And Rob DiMaio had 2 assists and was the third star. So Damon Lanko opened the scoring on the power play for Tampa Bay, but then we scored twice. So we had Alfredson on the power play from Nieuwendyk and Sheldon Souray. And Marian Osa scored his 27th from Yashin and Daniel Alfredson. So that was 2-1 for us after 1. And then Scott Nichols scored for Tampa Bay to tie it. Then we scored twice more. So we have Nieuwendyk from Brian Berard, and then Mariano Osa again from Ratchi and Daniel Alfredson. We were up 42, but Rob Zamuner scored a couple goals in 7 seconds in the third period, made it 4-4, and that score would be the final one. Alright, Lubos Barteshko is available. I am not going to pick him up. Brendan Shan's point streak ended at 12 games. Was held scoreless against the Bruins. Jeremy Roenick recorded 500 assists. He had an assist against Toronto. So 500 assists in Jeremy Roenick's career. He's 30. Doing pretty good there. Norm McIver back soon. Yeah, I hope so. Alright, so we have one more game to play in March. We are playing in Florida against the Panthers. Panthers are not doing too good either. They're just as bad as Tampa Bay. I mean, literally, they also have 61 points in 76 games. They are 22-37 and 17 ties. That's a lot of ties. We are 2-1 against Florida this year, so let's play in Sunrise for our last game in March. We're going with Tommy Salo. They're going with John Van Beesbrook. And we lost 3-0. Wow. So the Florida Panthers managed to shut us down. Oh, that's 2 games in a row that we get outshot pretty bad. So Florida outshot us 38-25. Nicholas Agman was the first star. He had a goal and an assist. Bobby Dallas, the second star, with a goal. And Kenny Johnson, third star, with an assist. Oof. And I think that I have it tough for my attendance. There wasn't even 7,000 people in the stands for this game. Oh, this time Norm McIver is suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. Mike Sillinger is hurt. He's going to miss 7 months. Oh boy. That's not good. I'm going to need to fix that. And German Titov improves at right wing. Alright, so Mike Sillinger is done for the season. So he's not going to be there in the playoffs for us. So I could use Rob Niedermeyer now that I traded him. So I guess I'm calling back up Mike Knuble, I suppose. I don't have many other people. Oh, well, I guess I didn't get to claim him. I guess he went somewhere else, huh? He sure did. He is nowhere to be found. Well... Well, I guess I'm gonna recall Ivan Ciernik. Oh, that's a big blow. I thought that I at least had Mike Knuble down there. Alright, so... we are going to sim up to April 1st. Oh, that's a lot of news here. Greg Johnson's suspension ends in Carolina, back in the lineup. Al McInnes has racked up 1,200 points with 2 assists against Phoenix. Alright. Zdeno Chara returns. Norm McIver is almost healed. That's my development report. Looks pretty good. So the player of the month are Brendan Shannon in St. Louis and Chris Osgood. Wow, St. Louis really turned it around. They still have a losing record, but now they're 32-38-7. At one point, they were the worst team in the league. So they really turned it around. Alright, and Ivan Ciernik wants number 18. You can have number 16, I guess. Alright, this is where we're at. It's gonna It's going to be tough. We're without Mike Sillinger and Bill Guerin for the foreseeable future. Those are two players that would be perfect for playoff time, so that's going to be tough. Because we are going to be making the playoffs. We have a 9-point lead on the Rangers, and they have only 4 games left to play. So, I mean, even if we were to lose all of our games and that the Rangers were to win all of theirs, we're still going to be in a playoff spot. So, playoffs are happening. Let's look in the West. Alright, so 100 points for the Devil. The Red Wings are terribly scary with 119 points. So San Jose is still holding on to a playoff spot, but Chicago and St. Louis is coming. So if St. Louis makes the playoff, it would be a pretty cool story for them after that horrible start to the season that they had. And if we look at our stats, we can see that Alexei Yashin is now our best scorer. He has 79 points in 73 games. And also at the point per game mark is Joe Nieuwendyk with 78 points in 77 games. Marian Osa really turned it up this year. 56 points in 77 games. Alfredson 52 in 71. And then German Titov, most of his points were not with us. Joe Thornton is starting to look pretty good. 42 points. Datsuk 35. And it all dwindles down. Of course, I was always looking at Robert Zvel's stats because he was pretty good for us on D, but I had to trade him. And finally, in the entire league, so we already have a 50-goal scorer. Alex Kovalev has 50. Selane has a shot at it too. He has 48. After that, we have a couple of guys at 41. It might be a little bit tougher for them. Lemieux has 65 assists. He's the best passer. And then Kovalev is the best scorer in the league with 105 points. Mario Lemieux has 101. And Teemu Selänne has 100. For the plus minus, of course, it's almost all Red Wings players because they barely ever lose. So, alright, that's pretty much where we are at right now. So we have 5 games left to play in the regular season, and then it's going to be the playoffs. We are second right now, tied with Montreal. At the top of the division for the points with 96. I think we have more wins than them. That's probably why we are second and they are fifth. I'm going to go ahead and save my game. Don't want to lose all of that progress. And I might have overpaid a little bit for Ryan Miller, but that solves that question mark in net that, plagued the Sens forever. That should take care of that. And yeah. So thank you for tuning in, and as usual, if you've liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. That's always appreciated. And until I roll this game again, see you guys next time. Thank you.